My girlfriend came home in just her underwear, and I'm losing my mind. This is the weirdest thing that I've ever been a part of. I don't understand what happened or why, and I'm prepared to just drive away and never come back. A few days ago, my girlfriend went to a Christmas party. I was told I wasn't allowed to go because it was just for employees. I thought that was weird AF and even said so, but she insisted that that was the case. So she ended up taking her car and going to the party. She's gone for a long time. For some reason, I decided to wait up, and it got later and it got later. Around 3 a.m., she comes into the house in just her underwear. So I ask what the F happened. I was thinking a million things. Did she cheat? If she did, why come back like that? Did she get assaulted? But no, she looks super calm, and she's crazy drunk. Also, why the F was she driving? So I asked her right away, what happened? She tells me one of her friends threw up on her and she couldn't stand it. Well, that made sense maybe. I kept asking questions, but she told me she was too tired and her head hurt and kept saying that she was going to bed. I kept pressing her because it just didn't feel right, and then she got pissed. I know I shouldn't have kept going, but it was like the winds were out of my sails and I was just too confused to argue correctly. That happens to me a lot. I take a lot of time to process anything big. This is shady AF, but I don't really understand what happened. I've been thinking about it nonstop and I've got like this really anxious feeling. Things that came to mind later were, okay, if someone got sick on you, why would you go straight to bed? You'd shower first, right? I went to her car, no dress, so where the hell is the dress? What the F is this? Did she F somebody and come back like that so that I would know? If so, that's demented. And the worst thing is, when I ask any more questions, she gets mad at me. At this point, I'm done. I'm waiting for my paycheck to hit on the first, and I'm going to close our joint account and take off. I think I might be traumatized. Oh my God. Okay, well, I feel like I need to talk to her when she's sober the next day to really know what happened, because that's definitely scary. Like, I mean, also her driving drunk, and then, yeah, I don't know. There's really nothing that I can really think of to explain this other than the things that you mentioned, which I don't know. And it very well could have been that someone threw up on her and she just took off her pants and then came home or took off her dress or whatever, because she didn't want to throw up on her anymore, especially because she's drunk. So it's like, there's not really like logical thoughts going through your head. So you're probably just like, oh yeah, let me just take my clothes off because they have throw up all over them. And like, it doesn't really matter if I'm in my underwear. Like, I don't know. I've walked through a party like naked after skydiving once. Not skydiving, after skinny dipping once, so that wasn't my proudest moment, and I don't even really remember it, but it's fine. I just look back and laugh now because I was like 16 years old, so what can I do about it? I'm 27 now, and also my best friend was also right next to me and did the same thing, so it's like we can share the trauma together. Okay, someone said I'm not allowed to bring my spouse to a work party, so that's not shady at all. I'm very concerned for her and perhaps she was drugged. Yeah, that's not a red flag at all. A lot of employers don't want to feed or provide drinks to more than employees because of the cost. Yeah, I don't think that that's like that crazy, honestly. Because I don't think I would expect to be going to work. I don't really think I would want to go to a work party, honestly, with my boyfriend. Like, if he wanted me to go, sure. But, like, ooh, the way that I'd be so drained after that, because that's, like, meeting a lot of people, and a lot of people that, like, he just works with. So it's, like, you kind of have to keep up, like, a certain type of aura or vibe, and you have to be professional, which like I don't really want to be professional, girl. Does it look like I'm professional? No. Okay, let's read the update. There's an update, another update, and then another update, so we love that. It says, it's been over a week now, and I've been trying to get the bottom of what happened. The first thing I have to say is she's been in a pretty much the same mood, except she hasn't really said much at all. But I see her watching videos on her phone and laughing all the time. She hasn't said anything to me about the post I made, so I'm 100% sure that she hadn't seen it. Overall, we haven't said much to each other. Again, she seems completely fine, but I listened to you all regarding my friend's probable essay, so I told her I needed to talk to her. And I told her if that was what happened, she could tell me, but I needed to know what happened, because I can't function otherwise. I believe these were the exact words that were suggested. She told me again that her friend just threw up on her. Remembering what you guys told me, I told her, okay, but there are still parts that don't make sense. I asked where the dress was, and she told me she didn't remember. I told her if you can't remember, you might have been drugged, and if so, then we need to go to the hospital. She lost her mind. I was a little more prepared this time, so I was much more calm, but she wasn't having it. I did my best not to argue and told her, okay, if that's what you say happened, then that's what happened. Of course, I didn't believe her, and at night I went through her phone after she went to sleep. There was nothing that implied something happened to her, but I did see a text from a coworker making a comment about the Christmas party. So I called her yesterday to ask about the party. She was obviously surprised and seemed confused about me calling. I asked what happened at the party, not giving any details from my side. Apparently, the party was just a dinner and it ended at 11. What the F happened the other 4 hours? I tried not to act surprised by this and asked if she left with anyone. She told me no. And then I asked what she was wearing when she left. Her coworker told me she didn't remember and then asked why I was asking. She was obviously sus, but didn't sound like she was hiding anything about the dress. I told her that she lost her wallet and we were just trying to figure it out. So as far as I can piece together right now is that she left much earlier than she said, was unaccounted for hours, and left with her dress on and without a friend that could have puked on it. I've been watching her closely, but haven't given her any indication about what I know. I'm going to confront her about it. I know I said I was just going to leave at this point, but I don't think I can ever feel sane without knowing the truth. Okay, the way that I literally am so confused as well, and I have no idea, girl. Like, I wish that I could help you and be like, oh yeah, maybe this is what happened. But like, I don't know what happened. And it sounds like she went to this party or this dinner party with her coworkers, and then maybe she went out after to another party, or maybe she went to the bar and got really drunk with people from work, or maybe just her friends. I don't know. We literally, like, the way I am just as lost as you. I have no idea. Someone said, OP, while this is one of the strangest scenarios I've read on this app, there's one thing that bothers me about this. Your girlfriend seemingly being shocked that you don't believe her when she's literally missing chunks of her memory. She seems to be flipping this back onto you as though you're being irrational. You're not. Something really shady and bizarre happened, and I don't think you'll ever really know. This will eat you alive if you stay with her. Yeah, because the thing is like, how are you supposed to know if she doesn't even remember? Or maybe she's just like uncomfortable about what happened. I don't know. We're going to read the next update though. It hasn't been going well. My girlfriend found out I called, which of course I expected, but I didn't expect it to go this bad. She came home screaming her head off. She said I jeopardized her career, that everyone at her work asked if she found her wallet. I defended myself, saying she brought me to this. What was I supposed to do? She could have been SA'd and had no idea. She doubled down on the vomit story. I told her I knew it was a lie. I told her that I knew about the dinner ending hours before. She got even louder, yelling, saying that she met her friends immediately after. I said, show me the text where you planned it, which I know now was the wrong move. I should have just kept asking questions. Instead of that, she tried to turn it on me, asking if I went through her phone. I was a little shocked by this because, yeah, I knew I was wrong to do it, but it was for her safety, and I let her know that. She told me I was an idiot, and I should have just listened to her. And then she said that she was done talking to me, and I ruined this. I told her I was just trying to make sure she was okay. But she told me she had nothing else to say. And the more I tried to get through to her, the more she shut down. She was crying at that point, and she went to the room and locked the door. I tried talking to her from outside, but she kept ignoring me. She spent the whole night in there. I didn't sleep at all. I was trying to figure it all out still. Maybe she was telling the truth, but if so, why have such a big reaction? I tried talking to her again in the morning, but she wouldn't budge. She took a shower and went back to the room and locked the door to get dressed. And then she left for work without breakfast. I had to leave too, so I just carried it with me. I tried texting her from work, but no response. I felt a little guilty because I know I invited her privacy, but even so, I did also still want to know for sure. I thought about calling her friends. It would put an end to guessing once and for all, and I felt like we were already at the lowest point, but I decided against it. At night when she came home, she still said nothing, but it wasn't like before where she was carefree. She was just angry. The only thing she said was after getting dressed was that she was going out. I asked where she was going, and she told me I should just investigate, and left. I had some new thoughts. Maybe I am too untrusting. Maybe she thinks I'm controlling and that's why she didn't bother telling me about the after party. And I could accept these answers if I just knew where the dress was. If her friends had it, no problem. Maybe she really didn't want to drive home in it if there was vomit. Maybe it was just a wild girls' night and she lost a bet or something. I don't like it, but I could even live with that. But why would her friends let her drive in the first place? That still didn't add up. They would have cared about her safety. It still doesn't work, and where did she just go? I could call all of her friends, but that's just proving her right. But maybe she said it because she knew I couldn't in that case. It's like she set a trap where I would lose either way. I sat and thought about all of these things and decided to do nothing. She came home around 11 p.m. She didn't look drunk or anything. Her hair was still upkept. She didn't say a word all night. I know I can't salvage this anymore. I'm going to accept that she isn't telling the truth. I'm going to accept that I'll never find the dress, and I'm going to keep what little dignity I still have and not call her friends. I know I could find out if I did, but I think this is gambler's fallacy, and I should just walk away. I'm going to go back to my first plan, and I'm going to leave in a few days. Well, the thing that I think I would 100% be calling because, girl, I need to know as well. And, if she's not going to talk to you about it, then how else are you going to figure out what happened? You, honestly, it's totally, I think that if she's not communicating with you, I don't see a problem. I don't think that you're being controlling because you saw her drunk as a skunk, drove home in her car when she shouldn't have been driving, and then came in after a so-called what you thought was a work party in her underwear. I don't think that it's wrong of you to want answers, and I don't think that it's wrong of you to get the answers in a way that you see fit because she's not talking to you about it. I mean, I would also be very concerned for her as well, especially because if she doesn't know what happened and she came home in her underwear and maybe she's being defensive because she was essayed, but maybe also something else happened that I don't know. We literally don't know. We're on the third update. We're about to read the fourth one and we still have no answers. I'm going just as crazy as you. Well, probably not actually, but I would be going just as crazy as you if this happened to me. If my boyfriend showed up drunker than a skunk and he drove home, first of all, I'd be pissed about that. I'd be absolutely livid about that. And then second of all, he's in his underwear. Oh yeah, for sure. I'm going to be like, what in the actual fuck happened here? What's going on? I don't think that's wrong of you to be concerned. Okay, this is the last update. I want to thank everyone that has been supporting me here. It's been a very confusing and difficult time. My inbox is overflowing, so I do apologize for not answering. Many of you have asked the same questions in my messages and in the comments, and I will do my best to answer them now. We're both 22 years old. It's not incredibly cold where we live. She didn't smell like vomit, at least as well as I can tell. She does not have a past of cheating as far as I know, and the advice many of you gave, her GPS was not active. So, after I gave the last update, I stayed mostly quiet that day like I planned. It wasn't difficult to do, but when you live together, there are still exchanges that have to be made. Most of these were one-sentence questions and answers about things around the house, but that night she told me she was going to her friend's house for New Year's, which was a plan we originally had together. She wasn't being hostile or anything, so I decided to ask her again one last time. If she didn't answer, I wouldn't ask again. What happened after your work party? She sighed and shook her head. She said she went to the bar with her friend. They had drinks, and her friend threw up, and that was it. She told me she couldn't keep going over it with me. I don't know how she could say that if we haven't really discussed it to begin with. But this time she didn't yell at all. I asked which bar, and she gave me the name. And then I asked again, do you think you were drugged? She told me she couldn't keep doing this and left. I still had more questions, but now I at least have one answer. And at the time I least expected to get one. She came home sometime around 2 a.m. and went straight to sleep again. I didn't get up or say anything, and yesterday she slept until the afternoon. She was quiet after she woke up, and we really only talked about dinner and not much else. But I've been thinking nonstop. I know which bar it is. It's really close by. I could go check. That would make it so I wouldn't even have to check with her friend if I wanted to pursue this, and I know the bar gets busy, but how couldn't they remember if someone threw up or got naked there? I'm contemplating going tonight. However, I feel like I'm at a crossroads. I could leave it alone like I promised myself, or I could go and finally put this to rest. When I made the resolution to not press it, I didn't have this huge piece of information. But on the other hand, do I really want to reopen this? I already know I'm not actually going to. I'm just working through my feelings. A bar would be the place to be drugged, and I think maybe that's what's pestering me. However, like everyone said, it's sounding less and less like SA. I think because I was told I was such an idiot for not thinking it was that on my first post, I haven't been able to let the thought go. I'm not upset. It's very serious, and I still consider it. Anyways, to put everyone's mind at ease, I'm not actually going. I just have to get through the weekend. Oh my Lord, have mercy. We still got no answers other than obviously the story that she's telling, but I can understand feeling like, okay, well that sounds like a very rehearsed story, and then not to mention she did say that she like doesn't remember a bunch of stuff, so it's like, okay, then what are the odds that you actually remember the entire night? And it's not even like, what I would be concerned about isn't even like, oh my god, you were cheating on me. I honestly don't even think like that would be what I was super worried about. I would be actually very concerned that like something bad happened, especially because the state that she was in, it seemed like she was really drunk. And if she's coming, like, yeah, I would be concerned. I'd be like, okay, so where is your dress and like what happened? And I'd be scared for her because that is super concerning. The top comment says, it sounds like she has checked out already, bud. Exactly, the relationship is over, just break up already. OP, you have to learn to accept the things you can't change, and this is one of those things. You may not like it, but your persistence is overwhelming. She may have cheated, she may not have. You'll never know. For sure, this relationship is over. You should talk with a counselor and try to grow and learn from this experience. If you were my kid, I would say leave right now. Pack your shit and get out. No way this is going to get better for you. If I was her father, she wouldn't spend another minute with you alone. Your behavior would make me think there is a chance this could get violent and my daughter could get hurt. Whoa. Yeah, I mean, I guess that is like, he is being a little bit persistent, which I honestly wasn't really even thinking, but someone said that escalated quickly back to that comment. And then this person said, how could she get hurt? She's just refusing to talk to her boyfriend about potential cheating, but not giving closure. Then someone said, his persistence is very scary in my opinion. And then the girlfriend posted the real story. OP is leaving a lot out. Go read her post. You can't just say that without a link. Where did she post this? On this forum. Where? LMAO. LOL, WTF. Why would anything he's doing make you think this will get violent and she could get hurt? This is such BS. If anything, it's her behavior that has been totally unhinged and temperamental. He's scared to even ask her stuff because she yells and gets hostile. I mean, I don't think that that's like crazy. Like, I'm sure if you had a daughter and they were like, yeah, like he won't stop asking what happened. I keep telling him what happened, but he won't stop asking. But I can also see it from his side where it's like, where is the dress? And what happened when you don't remember what happened? And like, there are things that are very confusing. But I don't know where this story is. And yeah, I mean, I don't think that you're really going to figure anything else out. I also don't think that a bar is just going to let you come in and like do an investigation. They're probably going to be like, girl, are you okay? Like, I'm kind of scared. Because why are you asking all these questions? And also, like, I think if I were a bar and someone, like, some guy came in asking those questions about his girlfriend, that would definitely scare me. That would definitely give me, like, a red flag. Like, wait, why are you asking all these questions? Like, why aren't you just asking your girlfriend? That's kind of, like, creepy, controlling behavior. I don't want to say anything that maybe will get her in trouble with you. I don't know. I can understand why people are like so adamant on you just breaking up with her, especially because you're just like spiraling so much, and at the end of the day you can't really do much about it. Like, you kind of have to just take the story, and if you can't get past it, then you kind of need to leave the relationship and try to move on, even though I understand that like not having answers kind of sucks, which because we also don't have answers. Love you guys so much. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.